Hello viewers, in the continuation of our previous lectures, today we will discuss the topic international standards. A standard is a document established by consensus and approved by a recognized body that provides for a common and repeated use, rules, guidelines or characteristics for the activities or their results, aimed at the achievement of the optimum degree of order in a given context. Then we will discuss international standard. An international standard is a standard adopted by an international standards organizations and made available to the public. The definition given in all IEC standard reads as a normative document developed according to the consensus procedures which has been approved by the IEC National Committee members of the responsible committee in accordance with the part 1 of the EISMO's directives. The IEC is one of the bodies recognized by the World Trade Organization and entrusted by it for monitoring the national and regional organizations. Agreeing to use the IEC's international standard as the basis for the national or regional standards as the part of the WTO's technical barrier to trade agreement. Now we will discuss what does consensus means. The word consensus is important since it represents a common viewpoint of those parties concerned with its provisions, namely producers, users, consumers and general interest groups. IEC's international standards are reached by the international consensus among the IEC's member national committees. Any member of the IEC may participate in the preparatory work of an international standard, and any international governmental and non-governmental organization liaising with IEC also participate in this preparation. Public inquiry. Another vital feature of truly international standard is the fact that it can be submitted to public inquiry in any of the IEC NC's country. Thus, through the democratic tools of the consensus and public inquiry, any interested party may speak up and have their say in the development and publication of an international standard. Then we will discuss approval. An international standard is approved if a 2/3 majority of the votes cast by the P members of the technical committee or the subcommittees are in favor and not more than 1/4 of the total number of the votes cast are negative. Voluntary adoption. Adoption of the IEC standards by any country, whether it's member of the commission or not, is entirely voluntary. Then we will discuss international standard organization. Popular name for international organization for standardization, voluntarily non-treaty federation of standard setting bodies of some 130 countries, founded in 1946-1947 in Geneva as UN agency. IEC promotes development of a state related to activities to facilitate international trade in goods and services and cooperation on economic, intellectual, scientific and technological aspect. ISO covers e-standardization in all the e-fields including computer and data communication, but excluding electrical and electronic engineering by the International Electrotechnical Commission and telecommunication standards sector. Now, we will discuss what are the benefits of the ISO, you can say International Standard Organization. International standards ensure that products and services are safe, reliable and of good quality. For business, they are strategic tools that reduce cost by minimizing waste and errors and increasing productivity. They help companies to assess new market levels, the playing field for developing countries and facilitate free and fair global trade. Then we will discuss the benefit of international standards. International standards being technological, economic and societal benefits, they help to harmonize technical specification of products and services, making industry more efficient and breaking down barriers to international trade. Conformity to the international standards help reassure consumers that products are safe, efficient and good for the environment. Then we will discuss the benefit of the standards, the ISO materials. The ISO has developed materials describing the economic and social benefit of standards, and ISO materials, they are intended to be shared with the decision makers and stakeholders as a concrete example of the value of the standards. Facts and the figures about the benefits of the standards. A repository of the study on economic and social benefits of standards provides an insight of the approaches and result of the studies undertaken by different authors such as national and international standard bodies, research institutes, universities and other international agencies. For business, international standards are strategic tools and guidelines to help companies tackle some of the most demanding challenges of modern business. They ensure that business operations are as efficient as possible, increase productivity and help companies access new markets. These benefits includes, the very first one is the cost saving. International standards help optimize operation and therefore improve the bottom line. Then enhance customer satisfaction. International standards help improve quality, enhance customer satisfaction and increase sales. Access to new markets, international standards help prevent trade barriers and open up global markets. Increased market share, international standards help increase productivity and competitive advantage. Environmental benefits, international standards help reduce negative impact on the environment. Business also benefit from taking part in the standard development process. ISO benefits for the business and the government. For society, ISO has over 21,000 standards touching almost all the aspects of daily life. When products and services conform to the international standards, consumer can have confidence that they are safe, reliable and of good quality. For example, ISO standard on road safety, toy safety and secure medical packaging are just a selection of those that help make the world to a safer place. To make sure that the benefit of ISO international standards are so broad as possible, ISO supports the involvement of consumers in standard development work within its Committee on Consumer Policy. International standards on air, water and soil quality, on emission of gases and radiation and environmental aspects of products contribute to effort to preserve the environment and the health of the citizens. ISO standards on toy safety help make the world a safer place. For government, ISO standards draw on international expertise and experience and are therefore a vital resource for the governments when developing public policy. National governments can use ISO standards to support public policy, for example, by referencing ISO standards in regulation. This has a number of benefits, including expert opinion. ISO standards are developed by the experts. By integrating an ISO standard into the national regulations, governments can benefit from the opinion of experts without having to call on their services directly. Then, opening up world trade. ISO standards are international and adopted by many governments. By integrating ISO standards into the national regulations, governments help to ensure that requirement for import and export are the same the world over. Therefore, facilitating the movement of goods, services and technologies from country to country. Then reducing technical barrier to the trade. The existence of different national or regional standards can create technical barrier to trade and increase the cost of doing business. International standards provides the technical basis on which political trade agreement can be put into practice, whether they are at the regional or international level. The purpose of the International Standard Organization. The International Organization for Standardization is a global organization responsible for developing new standards for products and services. Each of its 163 member countries has its own offices. The ISO's headquarters are in Geneva and Switzerland. Now we will discuss its development. The ISO website reports the organization is responsible for developing the standards for the products and services that identify a need for standardization. The ISO is usually contracted by a sector of an industry or a stakeholder in the product and asked to develop a standard such as those created for manufacturing. Then legislation. ISO helps government around the world create environment, health and safety policies. The ISO helps test products during the standard setting process. Many international trade agreements also incorporate ISO standards. Then we will discuss safety. ISO standards allow consumers to buy and use products in a safety. According to the ISO website, the use of ISO branding allows products to be produced safely and efficiently. Wireless technology can provide many benefits to the computing, including faster response to the queries, reduced time spent on paperwork, increased online time for the user, just-in-time and real-time control, tighter communication between clients and the host. Wireless computing is governed by two journal forces: technology, which provides a set of basic building blocks, and user application, which determine a set of operation that must be carried out efficiently on demand. This lecture summarizes the technological changes that are underway and describe their impact on wireless computing development and implementation. It also describes the application that influence the development and implementation of wireless computing and show that current system offer wireless computing. The wireless computing is the topic of much conversation today. The concept has been around for some time now, but has been mainly utilizing communication protocols that exist for the voice-based communication. It is not intended to replace wired data communication, but instead to be utilized in areas that it would be otherwise impossible to communicate using wires. Only recently has the industry been taking steps to formulate a standard that is more suitable to data transmission. Some of the problems to be overcome are: the first one is data integrity, relatively error-free transmission, then speed as close as possible to the speed of current wired networks, protection, making sure that the data now airborne is encoded and cannot be tapped by unwelcome receivers, compatibility, ensuring that many protocols that sure to be created subscribe to a standard to allow interoperability. Wireless computing applications cover three broad areas of computing today: replacement of normal wire, there is LANs need to retain the speed and reliability found in wired, there is LANs, creation of semi-permanent LANs for quick and easy setup without the need for the running wires. This would be necessary for the events such as earthquakes. The last category is that of mobile computing. With the advent of the PCMCIA, cards, notebooks, computers are being substituted for the regular desktop machines with complete connectivity of the desktop machine. However, you lost the connectivity when out of the office unless you have wireless means of communicating. Then we will discuss certain methods of international standards. There are a few methods of the wireless communicating being theorized and tested. The very first one is the radio. This is the method that make use of the standard radio waves in 902 MHz to 920 MHz frequency range. Although these frequencies are well used, methods have been developed to ensure data integrity. Spread spectrum transmission of data is a method where the transmitter will send information simultaneously out over many frequencies in the range, increasing the chance that all data will eventually reach the receiver. Frequency hopping is an additional measure that also enables data security. Then we will discuss laser. Laser based communication is the fastest way to communicate without wires. Information travels at the speed of light. The drawbacks, however, far outweigh the speed advantage and prevent this method from becoming the standard. The major drawback is the communication is restricted to the line of sight. Also, very thick fog and blizzard conditions will diffuse the laser beam and causing interference and reducing data integrity. Infrared. This method is similar to the laser. High speed communications are easy to achieve using this method. However, it suffers from the same problem that plague laser communication. Then we will discuss cellular connection. Although expensive to use now is the area of much development by private companies. Cellular computing can be linked to the current wire based internet network. Data is packaged into the unit. Size of the unit is dependent on the actual hardware and is sent to the nearest participating cell. That cell then forwards the packet to the next cell, so forth until the packet reaches its destination. Then the word microwave is there. This method of communication has been utilized for quite some time now. However, this method has made little provision for the data aware transmission. Then we will discuss what are the standards. The IEEE 802 11 committees has voted to create a minimum requirement for wireless computing connection. In their consideration, use the frequency 2.4 to 2.5 GHz. This is the low end of the high frequency spectrum and is currently not licensed by the FCC. Use spread spectrum technology compared to the current bandwidth 26 MHz, 902 MHz to 928 MHz. The range 2.4 to 2.5 GHz yields a bandwidth of 100 MHz. Spread spectrum transmission now gives 385% increase in data reliability. Many more sub-channels can be formed in bandwidth of 100 MHz. This increases the capability of frequency hopping, which in turn yields greater data security. Utilize Gaussian frequency shift keying. Frequency shift keying is a form of frequency modulation in which binary signaling is accomplished by using two frequencies separate by some EDI. The frequency duration is small compared with the carrier frequency. Then we will discuss physical layer. Much of the focus of wireless computing development is centered on the physical and media access control layers of the system. It is on this level of the LAN protocol of which wireless products like modems and transceivers. On the physical layer issue, the 802.11 is focusing on the one proposed by the Apple Computer Corporation. The Apple physical layer protocol appears the most robust of any considered to date in 802.11. Apple system is full duplex slow frequency hopping protocol. By using a frequency hop spread spectrum radio, the system fits with the spread spectrum method of virtuality of all 802.11 specification. The safety of those operating new equipment now plays a larger role in determining the direction of technological growth now more than ever. Factors under considerations are the effect of infrared and strong electromagnetic radiation that would pervade the workplace on the workers. This limits the strength of an communication device that would be used in accomplishing transmission. For the personal computer, the adapter have a small attached antenna through which they send and receive network traffic as radio signals. Some wireless products are small boxes that attach to your PC's parallel port. In either cases, the signals may travel from PC to PC, forming a wireless peer-to-peer network, or they may travel to network server equipped with both wireless and standard Ethernet adapters, providing notebook users a portable connection to the corporate network. In either cases, wireless LAN can neither replace or extend wired networks. Standards are lacking. Wireless networking is still a technology looking for a standard, which is why very few wireless products can work with one another. Each vendor uses a different protocol, radio frequency or signaling technology. If wired networks still operated like wireless, you would have to use the same brand of network interface card throughout your network. Right now, you are the most part tied to whichever brand of wireless LAN you pick. Most of the products in this comparison listed their wireless protocols as Ethernet carrier sense, multiple access, collision avoidance, a variation of standard Ethernet. Unfortunately, each vendor has put its own spin on CSMACA, which means even their protocols are incompatible. Then we will discuss the term software. Software concern in wireless computing environment can be broken into two areas, systems and application. The first one is the system software. Network operating system must be able to handle the uniqueness of wireless computer. Advanced operating system utilizing distributed technology must be adapted to the specific communication media. The advancement of technology has provided that even mobile computer systems the size of the notebooks are capable of internet working as a host in the global networks. Mobile host protocol compatible with the TCP IP have been developed to allow continuous network connectivity wherever the host may be. Due to the unpredictable nature of wireless connection, even operating systems may have to be written to provide support services for the mobile network. Then we will discuss the application software. Application software concerns in the wireless computing environment vary depending on the time of the application and wireless medium used. For example, email software must know how to communicate with the packet switched network as compared to the traditional cellular network. Software developer kits and application programmers interfaces are usually available by the service provider. Wireless local area network. Wireless local area network offers the same features as wireless network but without the wires. Coverage can range from a room to a building to a campus. Both stationary desktop systems and mobile network computers can connect using specialized wireless LAN adapter cards. Another configuration allows wireless addition to the current networks. Wireless hubs have been developed which bridge the wireless unit into the wireless network. As mentioned before, during the recent natural disasters in California, the Federal Emergency Management Agency set up field offices with the LAN very quickly. Here is a great example of how LAN can be used. An Ethernet connection over a radio link provided data from a low power PC in a buoy to the PC on a ship. The system provided a megabyte sector data rate for 4 days while guaranteeing error-free delivery of data. Even more incredible is the MBARI acoustic LAN. Since underwater radio waves travel only a few feet but sound waves can travel for miles. The acoustic LAN uses the better carrier of wireless data signals. The acoustic LAN has 2 kbps data channels and 2 slow speed command of channels. The LAN is used to communicate with tilt meters and voice, the personal data assistants. The new handed computers which also have the wireless options using a pen based GUI operating system. The applications are assessed for a local storage. Fax, data and voice can be transferred to and from the PDA via cellular phone system. Security becomes essential in a wireless computing, especially since the data is broadcast to receiving the unit. International Standard Organization has published security services which provides for secure data and computer system on standard wireline networks. However, they must be modified to meet the needs of mobile users and the systems. Data encryption and 2 possible solutions including exchanging security information between a smaller number of entities or even more complex involving an information center. Infrared offers at least problem of security due fact that the station must be in the line of sight and the limited area of coverage, usually one room. SPED spectrum transmissions spread the data over a range of frequencies, making interception extremely difficult. Also, now power limits the coverage area. Although the signal will penetrate walls, cellular phone networks offer no security of their own, even though listening to these transmissions has been made unlawful. The signals can be overheard by the radio scanner. Data encryption is left up to the connecting unit. Packet radio offers internet data security by scrambling the data packets. In concluding remarks, I must say, in the relatively short time of the information revolution, the world has been several technologies first introduced as they convenient become essential, the basic structure of the modern lifestyle. The automobile, telephone and the refrigerator are easy example to cite. The wireless revolution will transform another convenience to a necessity. Emerging wireless system will provide the technology to allow people and machines to communicate anytime, anywhere using voice, video, data and messaging services through telecommunication. The wireless revolution began with the introduction of the cellular phone networks. This coupled along with the reduction in the size of microcomputer and an increase in the application technologies. After serving the many aspects of the wireless computing, several areas stand out and apparently require further research and development. Among those who are mobile internet networking protocols, which would allow a mobile host to connect to any part of the network. Mobile aware operating system would further allow more features catering to the mobile users. Features such as built-in APIs in the OS kernel available for the specific applications which would provide services pertaining to suspend, resume and store the forward operation. Standardized mobile networking protocol will allow interoperability between open wireless system. Advanced signal processing and speech coding techniques will allow more efficient use of bandwidth and data transfer speed. Security research at all levels will continue to remain an issue and must stay one step ahead of criminal element. All of these areas will help to bring about the wireless computing revolution. Thank you viewers for watching this program.